Hi, I'm Frankie.
And I'm Katie.
And this is
Conbini Cult.
Woo! Welcome back to another episode. I'm here with my friend Katie today.
Hey.
To talk business.
Yes, we're very serious businesswomen talking about business.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the job that you thought was going to be a dream job, ended up being something else, and then what you're doing now, which is a tour guide. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, life is kind of like that. You start with one career, and then the career you think you're going to be doing is not necessarily what you stick with. And I'm definitely living proof of that.
Yeah, which we'll get into it. But to start, so for the listeners who may not know you, where are you from originally?
Well, that's always a loaded question for me because I grew
it's a lot of places, right?
nomadic. Both of my parents were in the United States Air Force, so we moved around a lot. But my driver's license is from Colorado, so I say I'm from Colorado.
Okay. When's the last time you were in Colorado?
Oh, like a year ago, I think. Oh. Yeah, I do try to go back to visit my parents at least once every 2 years. I would go back more if the flights weren't so expensive.
I hear that.
Yeah.
What are some of the places that you have lived, like other countries?
Oh, gosh. Well, I was born in the Philippines, and I
didn't know that.
Yeah, surprise. So shout out to all my Filipinos. And I grew up primarily in Germany. So most of my childhood was there at a bunch of different bases. And then I've lived all over the States. And as an adult, I've lived all over the US and in Europe and now here in Japan. So it's kind of all over the place. So I never know what to say when people are like, where are you from? I'm like, well, do you want to know where I went to school, where I was born, where I consider home? I have multiple of those too. So not actual houses. Oh my gosh, I wish.
You got real estate.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I was just like, I got vacation houses everywhere. Oh my gosh, I wish. No, someday, maybe. Manifesting that.
Yeah. So how long have you been in Japan at this point?
Oh gosh, I think next year is going to be a decade. Which is insane.
Same. Wait, did you come here in 2017?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, twins! I didn't realize that we were like, they had the same Japan time.
Yeah, March 2017.
Nice. I was summer of 2017. I think, what was it, July? I think. Yeah, the end of July.
Okay, so next year we can celebrate the
10 years, the decade. So wild.
Anniversary.
I mean, that means we're pretty much here now. Like, that's it. Like, once you're here for a decade, it's pretty hard to do something else.
Apparently. I mean, I know for New York, they say that it takes 10 years to become a New Yorker.
So do you think that makes me a Tokyoite?
Have you been in Tokyo the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh.
I love Tokyo.
Then yeah, I guess so.
I'm going to call myself a local then.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a native, but a local.
Yeah. I've been here almost 10 years, but not the whole time in Kansai, so I can't call myself a Osakin.
I don't know what that, but I mean, you're close enough. I would say you've probably heard about this before, right? The 3, 5, 10 thing with the years.
Oh, like you go through something.
Well, so it's like they say like, well, I guess if you really want to start, there's like the short-term expats, right? They stay for 1 year. And then the people who stay for a little bit longer but still plan to go back, they usually stay for 3. And then once you hit your 5 year, you kind of have that like, okay, am I going to stay in Japan or am I going to go back home? Am I going to go somewhere else? And then by the time you hit the decade, it's kind of like you're just whatever, you stop counting.
Don't they say one of those years, either 3, 5, or 7, is when you start to become kind of bitter?
Maybe
in 5 to 7, because then
I wonder.
you decide.
It's like that whole like the culture shock, the different waves that you go through.
Yeah.
But have you ever become bitter?
Overall, no. I mean, I have like little moments where I'm like,
right?
Why?
But I don't really understand when people get really like angry or bitter. Like I once had a pizza delivered to my house by this really angry dude from Uber Eats. And he was like an old white dude. And it was just weird because I lived in a place where there weren't a lot of foreigners at the time. And he was just like, get out while you can. I was just like, dude, oh my gosh. Like, is somebody keeping him here hostage to deliver pizzas? I don't know. So I sometimes think about that and it's like, I never want to be like that person. Like, this is my dream life, my dream city. So even though I think sometimes we gripe about stuff, like just annoying life stuff in general, I'm super thankful and I love living in Tokyo. So yeah, not bitter.
Yeah, I think overall, I've never been very unhappy or else I wouldn't have stayed.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I mean, you've gone through like different stages as well.
Yes.
I mean, it's inevitable when you live somewhere for 10 years, which actually, fun fact, since I am nomadic, this is the longest I've ever lived somewhere.
Oh.
I've lived more consecutively in Japan than anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah, even the States.
Wow.
So it really does feel like Tokyo is like, very much home for me.
Tokyoite.
Yeah, local.
Yeah. So when you first came here, did you start off teaching English?
I did. So my come to Japan story is like kind of long, but I'll try to make it short and sweet. Basically, I Googled one day, live in Tokyo, no Japanese, most money.
Okay.
And I found that job, which was the JET program, which is a foot in the door for a lot of people coming into Japan.
And they placed you in Tokyo?
They did.
Wow.
But I straight up went up to that interview and they said, would you be okay with the Inaka? I said, no. I've been living in the American Inaka for the last 3.5 years. I want to go to the city. Please and thank you. So I think it is a little bit different because a lot of people that go into the JET program are fresh out of university. I was coming after my first career. Like I'd already been working for about 4 years. So I was a little bit older and that was really my goal, was to get to Tokyo. So I really did put it all on the table during that interview and luckily it worked out.
Nice. So did you do the full 5 years of JET?
I did not. I actually ended about a half year early. I did 4.5. So not the full 5, but yeah, almost.
Nice. So then after the JET job, did you keep teaching or was that when you transitioned to the office job?
So yeah, I got semi-headhunted for that job when I transitioned from teaching to the tourism industry. And so that's why it was at 4.5, because I had intended to finish my JET contract, but when the opportunity presented itself, it was so good. And it just felt like it was finally time to move on, because I didn't dislike teaching, but it's not something I'm very passionate about. I taught adults before teaching in Japan.
Oh, okay.
I liked that. And teaching kids was fine as well, but it just wasn't something I was super passionate about. And I knew that I wanted to move more into tourism, especially because the whole time I was on JET, I was working on my food blog, doing food influencing, which is how we originally met.
Yeah. Is that how they found you too?
Yes. So I think that's kind of an important takeaway, is that if you really want to get into something, you just have to kind of start doing it. Yeah. Even if you don't get paid, if it's not like popular, whatever, because it was the published articles that I did while I was still on JET that kind of got people's attention. And then by the time that this company was looking for somebody to take over a position they had open, they already knew me. And so it was a lot easier than, just blindly applying to places and hoping for the best. So it was kind of like the work that I did while I was teaching is what built me up to transition out of teaching to the industry that I was more interested in.
Okay. So what was your role at that company? Or like what kind of company was it?
Well, so it's a it's a food and tourism company. So they specialize in tours that are basically all about food, which was great because I did a lot of food blogging and food influencing. And so it was kind of the perfect fit for me. I was really excited. And the position was the content manager, which I feel like doesn't really encapsulate everything that job actually was.
Yeah.
At the time, the company was quite small. They were still considered a startup. They might still be. And so it was a lot. I was the primary writer, editor, managed all the freelancers, like any content that they published, whether it was online or printed or whatever, went through me. And that was pretty intense.
Did you need Japanese at all for that job, or was it all in English?
The company's primary language was English. However, half the company was Japanese people, and some of them didn't speak English as much. And so Japanese was certainly useful. However, for my position, there was no Japanese requirement. There should have been, though, because the amount of translating that went into that job was pretty intense. So it was kind of a crash course in translating a lot of Japanese terms that I'd never really thought about, like how do you put it into English. And so that was a good experience, at least for improving my Japanese skills.
Yeah, it's true. What were some of the good points about working for this company?
Oh, wow. Well, so I was so thrilled. when I got the job. Like, this was literally, it felt like my dream job. It was in tourism. It was in food. I got to write, which I love doing. I got to work with people. And it seemed kind of like on paper, like the perfect job. And I remember when I started doing it, there was a work trip that we did to Kyoto where I couldn't believe that the company was paying for a Shinkansen ticket to Kyoto, and, you know, they paid for the hotel and everything. And it was a shitty business hotel, but still, that's a big deal when you get your first job of all these extra benefits. And I remember coming back to Tokyo and talking to my coworker and looking at her and just being like, this is the dream. Like, we've made it. Yeah. Like, this is so cool. And I'm always grateful for the opportunities that came from that job. I think it helped me meet a lot of people in the industry. It helped me learn about how the industry works here. And it also really helped me understand what I'm actually interested in. Because when you do a job at a Japanese company, most of the time, you're not just a specialist. You kind of become a jack of all trades. Yeah. So you have to really get into doing a bunch of stuff that you never thought you would work on. And you very quickly learn what you enjoy doing and what you don't really enjoy doing.
Well, I think we met for the first time in person on one of your business trips. Maybe
really?
At like Shinosaka Station or something.
Oh my gosh,
we
that's
just grabbed dinner, right?
Oh yeah, that's so true. Oh, see, that was like one of the amazing things. It just, we had a work trip that went to Osaka, and Frankie and I had been friends online for a while.
Yeah, because during the pandemic, there was like a creators group chat on Instagram.
Yeah, which was actually kind of awesome because a lot of the creators that were in that group, we were all like small potatoes. I don't think anybody had over like 10K at that point, followers on anything. And everybody was kind of trying to figure it out during COVID. And I always joke about that group because I think like 80% of the people in there actually really blew up and did really well. And I'm part of the 20 that didn't. But that's okay because I actually figured out through doing this job and other stuff that influencing wasn't really the route that I was so interested in. But the awesome thing is I met Frankie and some other really cool creators through that. Yeah. And that's been really cool. But at that time, we had a work trip somewhere. I think it was to Hyogo, actually, because it was the same trip I met Michaela, who's another really amazing person. And so, yeah, met a lot of people through that job. But I was going through and I had a couple friends. And so I was just like, hey, let's see if this works out. Let's get dinner. Yeah. Oh, man. Was that really the first time we met in person?
Yeah, I think so.
Dang.
Got like dinner and Mr. Donut or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. I don't remember what we ate, but I do remember having a really good time with you guys. Yeah, it's really nice to have friends in other parts of Japan because people tend to concentrate in Tokyo. So it's kind of fun to have some friends in Kansai and other places.
Well, usually, because I mean, I'm based in Kansai now, but I come to Tokyo a lot for business trips. So like, you're one of the people that I message almost every time I come here, and I'm like, we gotta grab dinner.
Absolutely.
And because you're a foodie person, like anything I'm craving, I'm like, where can I get that? You know, a place.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's what I do. People always come to me for recommendations. I'm happy to do it. Love food. Love seeing friends and going and getting food. So it works out. I'm always happy when you contact me. So thank you.
Of course. But to get back on track about that job.
Right. The job.
What were the bad points about that job?
Well, so because they were a smaller company, they were still very much in the startup stage, and the workload was incredible. Really, really intense for what they had every person doing. I believe they have more employees now, but at the time we were a very small team, and the workload was pretty overwhelming. And as time went on, I didn't feel like the salary was really reflecting the amount of work and specialty that myself and my coworkers were really bringing in. And they just cut a lot of corners too. Like, we didn't have work laptops. And when my laptop went on the fritz, they were like, oh, well, sucks to be you. You got to go buy a new laptop. It was just like... It's like not even, it's just, it was a little tough. We didn't have an office. We worked in a co-working space that was more of like a multi-purpose space. So it was like working in an environment that was very noisy. It was just, there were a lot of things that just didn't really mesh. And I didn't really care for some of the things that they did. But I took it kind of as a learning opportunity because the things that they did that I didn't like was like, okay, well, I want to do it this way, so I'm going to do it myself. I kind of figured if I was working myself to the bone for this not very competitive salary, then why don't I work half as hard and make twice as much doing it myself. I know it's a little optimistic. That's not how it starts when you're freelancing, by the way, just full disclosure. But I did find it a lot easier to put my energy into doing my own thing than to put all my energy into a company that I felt didn't really value their employees very much.
So that's what ultimately led you.
Yeah, it was that. And then there were just some health issues that came from the work environment. I've unfortunately struggled with poor health and a chronic illness that has followed me for the last decade or so. And it was really, really difficult to manage in a Japanese company where they were just like, we don't care if you're sick, you still got to work. And I remember when I first started at the company, I actually had bronchitis for almost 2 months. And during the meetings, my boss would always be like, oh, you need to get better. Like, why aren't you better yet? You need to get better. And I was like, girl, I don't.
When do I rest?
With what time for resting? It's like, you got me on a full schedule here. And so yeah, that was really tough. And it was ultimately the mix of wanting to do my own thing and also just needing time to manage my health better that really pushed me away from the company. Let me just say, if you have any sort of health issues, Japan is not the place for you for work. They take even really healthy people and really, really make it tough for you if you're not lucky with the company.
Well, that was one of my questions, like how accommodating or not accommodating is the work culture here if you have like an autoimmune disease or a chronic illness or something?
Oh gosh, it's so tough. I think it's actually really sad because this is not something that just we as foreigners or as immigrants deal with, but Japanese people who have chronic illnesses or whatever, they also kind of run into the same problem where at the workplace, you're just expected to always be on, always work yourself really hard. And it's just really tough if you do have a condition. And I know somebody at the high school that I used to work at got sick while we were working there together, and she hid it from the administration. Like, she wouldn't tell anybody. And it was really devastating to see because this was not something you could really hide. And the effect on her physical health just was really, really tough to watch. And she confided in me because she knew that I had a similar situation. And I just felt really sad that she couldn't get the support or like the acceptance, because she kept saying if she told anybody, she'd lose her job. I hope that's not the case. I don't think so, because we were working for a public high school. I think generally public sector has working for the government has better protections than private sector. But yeah, it's just the fear was there of looking weak. And that's something that really resonated with me because when I originally got sick, that was a huge fear as well. Like, people look at you differently when you don't have the same energy level or you can't perform at the level that you were performing before. So when I was doing my JET interview, I was actually pretty open about that because during the application process, they do have a section that says, like, do you have any medical issues? And I was very, very clear and open with what it was. And I think that is probably one of the reasons that I was put in Tokyo as well. Just having access to
doctors.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to like a more remote place. Just saying, if you do apply to JET, you should always be honest, because you don't want to be in a situation where maybe you can't get the assistance or help that you need. But for my illness, I've never really looked at it as a disability necessarily. It's just more of like something I have to live with and manage. And it was doable at the high school. Weirdly enough, they were quite accommodating. However, when I worked for the company, it just really wasn't something that they could really do, or they chose not to. And despite me bringing it up multiple times of like, hey, I could really use some help with the extra work, or like, if there could be some remote work options, it just unfortunately didn't really work with the style that they were operating at the time. But I think it really depends on the company.
So even though this place didn't have an office, you couldn't work from home?
That was, oh my gosh, that was such a point of contention. Okay. That drove me absolutely bananas. We had to use our private laptops for work the whole time. They didn't have an office, but made us go into this like ridiculous multi-workspace. In fact, oh my goodness, at the beginning, we were in a tiny co-working space that wasn't even a real co-working space. It was like a place above a bank that was for bank members. And my
like
boss,
a lounge or
something? My boss could only check in like 3 people at a time. So anytime she had a meeting, she would just kick us out and she'd be like, go find a cafe. And I'm like, I could just stay at home. Like, I'd have to interrupt my workflow to go. And oh boy, that just drove me absolutely crazy. And then To add insult to injury, I heard that after I left that they actually started doing remote work because they had too many employees. So
Okay.
thanks for that. You know,
You walked so they could run.
Exactly. You know, I started one of the mass exoduses of talent from that company. They had a lot of good people leave, but I think they kind of reaped what they sowed there. Mm-hmm. But you know, with any company, it's you take the good and the bad. Mm-hmm. I realized it wasn't working for me. It wasn't really accommodating for my health, and I really had to put that at the forefront. So it's all right. It's a lot easier as a freelancer if you can get it.
But you did enjoy working in tourism.
I did, actually. So
then what did you transition to?
That's the ironic part, is that I actually really love the job. Like, working in tourism is super fun. Mm-hmm. I love working with people coming and visiting Japan for the first time. I love showing people around. And I realized through that job, I was doing everything, like, you know, behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So I was working on the computers, publishing stuff, but my favorite times were when I got to go on the tours to, like, take promotional photography and interacting with the tourists and the tour guides. I was like, this is so much fun. Like, this is where I want to be. I want to be with the people. And I had already kind of started playing around with the idea when friends and family would visit, I would take them on these tours to my favorite neighborhoods. And I started to kind of create a route of, like, where I'd like to go and what I wanted to show them. And so I started researching the history and, you know, learning more about the area so I could really give a full experience. And after working at the company, I was like, I could do this. Like, I'm already doing it for fun with friends and family. So why not give it a try? And so I remember my friend's parents were visiting Japan, and they kind of volunteered to be my trial clients. And so I pretended it was like my first professional tour, and I did it, and I got feedback from them, and I continued to do those for other people and gathered more and more feedback. And as I built up confidence in my route and studying the history and everything, I was just like, okay, I'm actually going to do this. I'm really going to go hardcore and start doing my own tours. And yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Nice. So is it like, are they food tours? Is it history, or is it a mix of both?
Well, so my background is food blogging. Mm-hmm. So my tours are very based on food. Mm-hmm. So they're pretty much food tours, but I also love history. So you get kind of like the whole shebang. You get the history, the culture, and the food on my tours. Yeah. But mostly it was, I wanted to show off the places that I really enjoy visiting and eating at. Especially if we kind of rewind a little bit, there were a lot of places that didn't make it through COVID. Oh. And one of the neighborhoods that I'm a huge fan of, which is called Shibamata, they have very small okashiya stores that have traditional Japanese sweets and snacks. And I was so paranoid that they were going to go out of business. During COVID, I used to bike up from my apartment to Shibamata at least once a week, and I would go to every single store and buy at least one thing. Because I was just like, I do not want them to close. They're so awesome and great, but they depend on tourists, mostly domestic, but international as well. And so I still bring people to those shops because I'm always just like, oh, I want them to continue to succeed.
So they're doing okay?
Yes. Thankfully, Shibamata, those stores have been around forever. They were able to weather the storm. And as far as I know, none of them shut down. So
that's
yay!
Good. Yeah. What are your favorite areas to show people around in?
Well, just like I mentioned, Shibamata is my number one favorite area in all of Tokyo. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of Shitamachi, which is the east side of Tokyo, or downtown Tokyo, the old part where we would have called Edo back in the day. Mm-hmm. Love that area. So I also really enjoy doing tours in Asakusa. Although recently the crowds are incredible. Just absolutely bananas how many people come visit. It's awesome for work, but it does make it a little bit difficult to, like, physically get around to sometimes. Walk around. Yeah. And you're just always dealing with crowds. But I enjoy doing tours through a lot of different places in Tokyo, but those are probably my top two.
What's a fun historical fact?
Oh my gosh.
That you've learned since doing these tours?
I have so many. Because, like, you know, a tour guide, if you've ever been on a tour, you know, tour guides are always, like, coming up with fun facts or, like, little...
You can give me a few.
Oh, gosh. There are so many different fun facts that I like to use on tours. Yeah. But I think one of my favorite ones that I've used that's like more of like recent history is how good advertising is at influencing Japanese culture.
Oh.
Because there are two things that come to mind. One is Valentine's Day and Christmas, which these are imported holidays. I mean, obviously there was no Christmas or Valentine's Day beforehand. But with Valentine's Day, the only reason Japan has the chocolate-giving culture it does is because of a mistranslation of an advert for chocolate back in the day.
Oh.
There was a chocolate company trying to promote buying chocolate for Valentine's Day, which at the time was a foreign holiday. And they put the copy as, oh, Valentine's Day is a time where people exchange chocolate. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, it was mistranslated to Valentine's Day is a day when women give chocolates to their admirers or lovers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that started the whole culture of women having to buy chocolate for men on Valentine's Day instead of it being a mutual exchange. And the fact that like a mistranslated advert became like, it's like ingrained in culture now. Like I'm sure you've talked about Valentine's Day before, but it's just, I think that's pretty funny. And it goes even further with KFC.
Oh, but still on Valentine's Day. Do you know what year that advertisement came out?
I don't. Like,
or
I'd
like
have to
what
look
decade?
It up. I think it was back in the, is it the 60s or
80s?
70s? It was during the Showa era, during like the bubble period where they were like trying to really promote, you know, buy the foreign things and how can we sell more chocolate in Japan? Mm-hmm. Basically, the incredible power of advertising on influencing culture. Because even to this day, you still mostly have women giving men chocolate on Valentine's Day and it not being exchanged.
Yes.
Which kind of sucks, honestly, because men never remember White Day. They never do. You always have to remind them. So, yeah. And then it's the same thing with KFC, right? KFC saw the opportunity that there is no Christmas culture here because Christmas wasn't celebrated. So they had an advert that said, you know, Kentucky is for Christmas or KFC chicken is for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And it basically established the tradition of eating fried chicken on Christmas. So in Japan, you hang out with your friends, you eat fried chicken, and you get a Christmas cake.
Yep.
And KFC is like the biggest winner because, oh my gosh, talk about the most successful marketing campaign of all time.
Yeah, but that's when they get the biggest sales.
Oh, absolutely.
It's pretty slow year-round, except Christmas.
Yeah, and I mean, other businesses have gone into it too. You can buy Conbini chicken. Like you can pre-order your fried chicken for Christmas from the Conbinis. And it just, I mean, I remember even walking around one time and seeing Indian restaurants selling fried chicken on Christmas. Because it's just like, yeah, that's what's for Christmas. And it's, it's pretty interesting if you look back during the Showa period, how much Western cultural influence was brought in, but then kind of twisted. And then became something that we associate as being uniquely Japanese.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think the KFC thing was in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, it was probably around the same time as the chocolate. And that's nothing new either, because not to get too into the history or anything, but some of our most favorite Japanese food, like tempura, originally came from Portugal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the Portuguese had a pretty big influence back in the day. During the 1500s, the Jesuit priests were coming over to try to convert people in Japan, and with them, they brought things from Portugal, like their recipes. And it was adapted here in Japan and made a lot more tasty. So tempura, while being a Japanese dish, we can trace the origins originally from Portugal, as well as castella. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I knew castellas, but I didn't know tempura.
When you become a tour guide, you're basically just like a fun fact machine. And so you're always ready with the little like, hey, think about this and that. Got to keep people entertained while we walk around Tokyo, because that is no joke. There's a lot of walking.
I mean, I learn something new every time I hang out with you. So.
Yay! That makes me happy. Yay.
I know you really enjoy being a tour guide, but are there any downsides to it or any challenges associated with it?
Oh, for sure. Like, I think even when you get a job that you really love, there's still challenges, you know. For me, the summer, it is so hot and humid. A lot of guides will take off July and August because the demand goes lower and it's just so miserable. And it's just really tough. Like, you have to watch out for people too, watch out for yourself with how hot and humid it is. And it's just
heat stroke.
Yeah, it can get pretty miserable. Actually, I did on one of my tours in Harajuku, not my customer, but another random tourist did suffer from that and just like passed out on the street waiting for bubble tea.
In May?
No, No, gosh, this was in the summer. I believe this was in
Oh my gosh, I'm
August.
scared.
No, but it was pretty bad because there was a line outside of a popular bubble tea place. And it goes forever, right? They have to wait in line. And this lady just like passed out in line. It's just for boba tea. It's just, yeah,
Wow.
it's no joke. You definitely need to be careful here for the temperatures. I will also say it's tough as a freelancer because you don't have the same protections as a company. So if I have a cancellation, I mean, that's it. There goes the money. If I have a customer that, acts a fool, it's kind of tough to be like the mediator in that situation. I try to vet when I can, but I also freelance for a lot of different companies, and you never really know who you're going to get. But for the vast majority of guests, they've been very nice, and it's been really nice. Cool job to have.
Have you ever gotten a bad review?
Not that I know of. All my publicly available reviews from the other companies have all been very positive. The only time I think I got a bad review was from a company I was interested in freelancing for, and I guess I didn't end up working for this company, but they said that the reason they didn't want me to work for them is because that the guests complained about the train being late. And I was kind of like, well,
Okay.
I don't really know what to do about that. So sorry about, that it ended up working out for the best. But yeah, as far as I know, people have seemed to be pretty happy. Have gotten good feedback, which is good because I enjoy that, and I want to make sure my guests have the best time possible. Yeah. And so if people are just like hating my tours, I don't think I would do that. I'm pretty miserable.
That's good.
Yeah, because that would suck.
What is the busiest time of year? Cherry blossom?
Generally cherry blossom, and then the season directly after cherry blossom is quite busy because the weather is still very mild. And then I would say koyo season, or when the leaves are turning. So November is a pretty good season. October, November get pretty busy. So
whenever tourism is high.
Basically, yeah. So when you see a lot of people coming in on like airplanes and they're filling up the trains, my work's going pretty well.
So as a foodie, what is your favorite or favorite and least favorite Japanese food?
That's always a tough question because Japanese cuisine is extremely diverse, but I'll give you my top 3. All right. It's going to be basic. All right. I love a hirekatsu. Like that's a hire tonkatsu, as like pork tenderloin on like a bowl of rice. Fantastic. It's basically a Japanese schnitzel, and I love it. It's probably one of my favorites. The second one would be unagi, which is eel.
Oh.
It's also really great to eat during the summer. And the third one, if you can even call this food, I'm obsessed with kakigori. I love kakigori, and that's Japanese shaved ice. But like I like the gourmet version, like not the little like matsuri syrup. No. I'm talking the full shebang, the espuma and the cream and the fresh fruit. It's just I'm obsessed. It's like the only good part of summer is eating kakigori every day.
How about least favorites? Is there anything you don't eat?
Okay, so I will eat everything. I will eat anything. Not everything agrees with me, and I don't like everything. But especially if I'm working, I will try to eat everything. There are things I don't like, though. And when it comes to Japanese cuisine, something I really don't care for, seems a little silly, but I hate raw cabbage. That pile of raw cabbage that comes with your tonkatsu, like what is that? Like that looks like Easter basket feeling. Like, it's not even food at that. Sorry, I really don't. You can make kimchi. You can make sauerkraut. You can ferment the hell out of that cabbage. It's going to be good. But that raw cabbage, that and konnyaku. Do you like konnyaku?
I'm not the biggest fan of konnyaku.
Yeah.
What is it? It's just like a starch, right?
So it's a root. So in English, it's called like the devil's tongue or something like that. It has a really weird name in English. But konnyaku, imagine chewing on unflavored
jelly,
slightly soft rubber, and that is konnyaku. So yeah, not the biggest fan of that.
If it's little pieces and it has, I don't know, maybe mustard or some kind of sauce on it, maybe. I mean, like a big chunk of it, especially in like oden. Huge. I'm not a big fan.
Right. Especially oden, they use like so many good things to pick from. You're gonna pick the rubber. Like, I don't know. But here's the thing, with every cuisine, there's the good and the bad. I will eat it. I'll eat it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. But apparently, konnyaku is a good diet food because it has 0 calories and it's filling.
Yeah. You know what? Yes. If you want to go on a diet and you want to just chew on rubber all the time, knock yourself out. I will say there was this one time I did have konnyaku ramen where the noodles were konnyaku. Oh. And because of the richness of the ramen broth, it actually kind of worked. And I've had some konnyaku jelly that hasn't been too offensive. Mm-hmm. But I went to this place called Konyaku Park. It's in Gunma. And Konnyaku Park is a whole complex to promote the sale and eating of konnyaku. And you can eat 100% for free. They have a free tabehoudai, which is an all-you-can-eat buffet of only konnyaku. It is like,
do you have any?
There's a reason
any
it's
sauces?
Free.
Any?
Oh, they have everything.
Okay,
they have everything because it's konjac in any form you can imagine, and you can eat it forever. You know, a little hack for Japan. You need a free meal. You go to Konnyaku Park. Eat all the konnyaku you could ever want in Gunma. Yep. It's an experience, for sure.
I feel like I was going to say something else about konnyaku, but I forgot. What was the other food you mentioned?
Cabbage, raw cabbage.
Oh. See, yes, the thing I was going to say was about the cabbage.
Yeah.
So apparently cabbage helps with period cramps. I don't know. So next time you have your raw cabbage in front of you, think about that.
You know what else helps with period cramps? Ibuprofen. No, and actually, too, I just learned this. Pickle juice. You straight up take a shot of pickle juice. I would rather drink pickle juice than eat raw cabbage. So, yeah, you're not going to sell me on the raw cabbage anytime soon. Sorry, Frankie.
I think one time you posted on Instagram about salads here. Like often you get a few, good sliced vegetables, a few nice pieces of lettuce on top, but then hidden underneath it is just a mountain
pile of cabbage. Now, in
Japan's
defense, I think it has gotten better. Like that was when I was working at the high school. I ate a 7-Eleven salad for lunch like almost every day for years because I needed some sort of vegetable and I was lazy and didn't bring a bento or anything. So I would walk to the 7-Eleven near the high school and they'd always have these salads that looked really good and have all the nice stuff on the top and then just this pile of raw cabbage. I got so irritated and I was so excited when 7-Eleven finally started making like regular salads. It was a very exciting time in my life.
Yeah. These days the salads they're pretty good.
Yeah, they've gotten much better. I think the cabbage effect, you'll still see it in some restaurants and with some Conbini salads. But in general, the Conbini salad game has like gone up a lot. I think actually, weirdly enough, COVID kind of made a lot of convenience foods a lot better and like delivery a lot better because everybody was like, well, gotta stay home. So yeah, that was one little silver lining of that time.
I think also because the price of cabbage has gone up. So maybe that's why it's in the salads less.
Good. It's not. I mean, my husband would be so sad right now. He loves cabbage. He'll literally just eat it.
I like cabbage too.
Like, okay, well, to all the cabbage lovers out there.
Yeah, sometimes I want a salad that has a variety of lettuce and stuff.
So no hate to the cabbage lovers. Like, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. So, do you want to stay in Japan long term? I mean, we talked about being here like a decade. So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we already kind of qualify for the long term, but I'm definitely more committed now. Mm-hmm. And I really love living in Japan. So I don't...
For anybody listening, that was her wedding
ring.
ring.
Yeah, sorry. I was just showing off the bling. I'm very proud of my wedding ring. I really love it. Or I guess my engagement ring. It's very shiny. So yeah, I'm pretty committed to staying here. I really don't foresee myself living anywhere else, and probably similar for a lot of immigrants here. The only thing I can really think of is if something happened with family back home that we would need to go back for, which hopefully will not happen, and everybody's very healthy and good. That's really the only way, because as when I was younger, I still was quite nomadic. I moved a lot, lived in a lot of different places, and while I enjoyed that, I'm like quite tired of doing that. I really enjoy being more in Tokyo, and I still love to travel all the time. Yeah. But having the home base here has been really nice.
I'm quite tired of moving. Yeah, I've moved so much.
Golly, when you start to like look at all the times you moved, it's a lot. And like the more you do it, you think it becomes easier, but no, you just get more tired of it, honestly. You're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, no, I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it really
moved, is. Like within Kansai last year, but still, it was.
No. I will say, like at least inner city or inner prefecture moves are a lot easier than like international But yeah, moving is no fun, and I think as you get older too, it's just nice to find the place that feels like home. Mm-hmm.
So to end on, I don't think this episode was depressing or anything, but to end on like just a happy note, what is your favorite thing about living here?
Oh my gosh. Wow, what a loaded question. My favorite thing. Gosh,
what makes you happy?
I love Tokyo. So what makes me happy? The city makes me happy, but I love the food here, obviously, to stay very on brand. But I also love that in Japan and in Tokyo in general, there's this acceptance of being really into something and that being totally okay.
That's true.
Just be unashamedly into whatever your hobby is. Like, you don't just like trains, you love trains. And you're going to be at the station taking pictures of trains, and you're going to meet up with your train friends and talk about trains. If you really like a certain character, you have oshikatsu culture of just like, you're going to celebrate a fictional character's birthday, and that's fine. Like, just do it. And even in the high school, I remember I taught 15-year-olds, and they would just have the cutest little pencil cases. And it's like, it didn't matter if they were a boy, a girl, whatever. They would have their cute character pencil case, and that was just fine. Like, it's fine to like things, and it's fine to like be really into things. And I think that's kind of a fun part of the culture that just really makes me smile. Like, I love to see people passionate about whatever it is that they're into.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Going back to food for a second. So tomorrow we have a reservation at this pizza place.
I'm so excited.
Omakase pizza. This is going to be the most expensive pizza I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm really glad you were able to get a lunch reservation because, oh my gosh.
Dinner was so expensive.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be like, I don't know, $120 or something for lunch.
Yeah, but which is way better than the dinner. The thing is, there was a list of pizza places released for Asia, like the best pizza places in Asia, and this is number 1.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
where
gosh.
We're going tomorrow. It's been internationally recognized. I mean, it's a big deal. We're going to have some very, very intense pizza. I'm very excited about it.
I mean, because I lived in New York for so long, so I love a dollar slice.
Of course, yeah, but it's not going to be New York style. I don't even know what style it is, honestly.
The chef is Italian, right? So classic,
but have you
like,
seen
brick
the
oven.
pictures?
No,
It's
I'm going in
like-
kind of blind.
All right. Well, it's going to be a fun experience.
Yeah, I'm excited, but feel like, I don't know, as a cheap pizza lover.
Understandable, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be an experience, but
Yeah.
it's probably gonna be very tasty.
Yeah. And then getting that reservation, the Pokemon Cafe really trained me for this because I was trying for like 2 or 3 weeks every day to get a reservation at the Pokemon Cafe unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
I ended up getting in eventually just as a walk-in because the scalpers can't sell all the time slots
Yep.
that they're snatching up.
Scalpers, I hate the scalpers.
Literally, just check that people's name matches their reservation. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, well, they do that for some.
For Kirby, they do.
Yeah.
But not for Pokemon.
At a lot of collaboration cafes, they do check. So it's kind of silly that they don't for the Pokemon Cafe.
Yeah, I feel like for most, they do.
Yeah.
But so trying to get the reservation at the Pokemon Cafe, that really trained me for getting this pizza reservation.
I'm glad.
Because they open up at midnight.
Yeah.
Like 30 days from whenever the day is. So I was on it, clicking. The first time, I only got a dinner reservation and I sent it to you. I was like, this is expensive. Do you still want to do it?
Well, of course.
I'll try for lunch. And then I got lunch. So
Thank goodness. Because, I mean, I was committed to the dinner. I would have gone with you. But, that would have been, it was like more expensive than a lot of meal. It was like more expensive than omakase sushi, I think.
that's
Or
true.
But comparable. But
Yeah.
it's all right. It's going to be super fun. And I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be really good.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And then whenever I post about it, it's going to come out before this podcast episode. So
Yeah. So I guess you're going to see the results. I'll probably post about it too, just because, oh my gosh, it is.
Why not?
Yeah, it's fancy. And that's what I like to post about, because not to like flip back or anything, but we met through doing influencing and content creation. And I learned pretty fast that like, she's probably talked about it and other influencers I know have talked about it, but it's a lot of work. It is not like, I mean, it can be fun, but like the work is incredible. Like she's always zipping here, there, everywhere.
yeah, I think I need to do an episode in the future, maybe with Rosa, because she is
Yeah,
my
'cause-
full-time assistant, like what
You should.
her perspective was before and then actually seeing behind the scenes of what I do, because I mean, not just me, but like, it's so much work than you imagine. It's a very enjoyable job.
Yes,
I don't want to do
it's-
anything else. It's so much fun.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's more work than you think that it is.
So yeah, because I think when I started because I started food blogging, which isn't exactly the same as influencing, but when I tried to get into it, I realized that it's a lot, you know, at the beginning when you're starting to, it's a lot of unpaid work. It's a lot of labor that you never, you know, get compensated for. Yeah. And I realized it just wasn't really my thing as much as being with people. And now instead, I actually like to work behind the scenes a lot. Like I love helping you with your stuff. I love helping others, and especially with the tours, it's just like being with people. I think that's more my vibe now. But that being said, I still do post. So if you want food recommendations or tour information, yep, you know, it's good stuff. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel like I skipped some of the stuff we were supposed to talk about, so my bad.
I think we got everything.
Yeah?
So,
okay.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
We're going to get some burgers after
yes.
this.
Okay, we're going to go get some burgers because Frankie cannot come to Tokyo without me taking her to one of my favorite places. It's like pretty close, so.
It's good to have a new place this time, because some of the others that you have shown me have become like staples to every visit. Although the cheesesteak place, I think I found.
That was you. But that I mean, hey, Philly.
I want to go next week.
Honestly, you should.
Yeah.
I think I usually go when you're in town.
Well, next week, because we have a job that she's helping me with. So
yes, let's go.
Let's get cheesesteaks before I go home.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And then, of course, food recommendations, tours, you know who to ask.
I'm the Tasty Traveler on Instagram, and that's the same as my website as well. And you can always find me through Frankie too.
Yes, I'll link those in the episode description.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Catch you again soon.
All right.
Bye.